What's going on, guys? Banks here, and I've got some videos for you from WePlay. Give me some new tutorial videos for you to check out. Now today we're going to try and learn how to play on A site on Dust 2. Usually the A site is held by 3 CT players, a player on long, an anchor on the site itself, and a support player who can rotate between A and B. The round for the CT side usually starts with the positioning on long or short. The recipe for taking long is simple. Ideally, you need the first respawn, lots of grenades, and a good teammate. Remember, taking long control is extremely important, and you almost certainly will have to fight for it. The player who runs from the first spawn spot throws the Molotov. If it's done from the first spot, it'll pretty much always give you an advantage over the Ts. If enemies still play aggressively, peaks should be done with flashbangs. There are no doubts that every match and in-game situation is unique, but here is a few classic examples. They're all pretty simple to recreate, so you don't need much practice. Most often, they are thrown by the third player who's busy smoking mid at the start of the round. Coordinate your efforts and peek with these flashbangs. Ask your teammate to throw the Molotov behind the blue box, or if you're asked to do it, remember that it's done with the simple bounce off the wall. Terrorists will have to take uncomfortable positions or use a smoke in order to take control. Very often on higher ranks, terrorists use this smoke. It obstructs your view and doesn't allow you to peek. You can answer it with a grenade like this and occupy the pit position. The main goal is to dodge the flashes, to live as long as you can until your teammates are able to come and help you. After throwing the default smoke like this, throw it yourself or ask a teammate. If you want to save the grenade for later, don't waste your resources. If you know that terrorists are coming long often, there's a lot of positions you can hold from there. Pit, this spot here, and this position right next to the door. But make sure you don't stand in the same place for several rounds in a row, even if you're making multiple kills. The worst position is the one your enemy knows about. In the majority of cases, the anchor will remain on his position until the very last moment. Teammates will often call for you to help, but at times like these, you better trust your intuition and use your radar. If you don't have the info about one of these enemies, there's a good chance he'll be at your 6. Killing the lurker is your primary task. If you do have the info, then help on the site with flashbangs like these. They'll be very annoying for those trying to take the plant. If you're a rotation player, you will have to be as focused and impactful as you can. Most often, terrorists will play towards A or down the middle. Don't waste your grenades and always seek for a way to be where you're needed most. If long is being held, go back and help the guy watching middle. If nothing is happening there, watch short. Adapt to the game, listen to the info, watch the radar, and concentrate on victory. Can't take long or didn't get the favorable spawn? The good idea is to be boosted on short. You need 2 teammates for this. One will follow you and the second will boost you. You can hold short both passively and aggressively. Aggressive way usually entails some kind of boost so that the AWP can check the lower B or peek the palm after a flashbang. You can play with a smoke. This will allow you to peek lower B or mid. We will show you it in another video. The way you take short depends on your skill, play style, and map awareness, as well as your team coordination. Are you confident in it yourself? Go out and take the frag. The biggest goal of CTs on Dust 2 is to control the territory. If you don't have long, you need to have short. If you don't have short, you better possess long. If your team doesn't have control over both spots, the round will most likely be lost. Here's a good example of the setup. If you spot an enemy on short, guy with AWP is standing on the corner like this, while his teammate with the M4 is waiting for the flash with his back turned on the stairs. AWP shoots, the second guy turns around, and the chaos starts. While taking short aggressively, you need to worry about the suicide rush from the T side. If the boost was flawless, you'll be the first one on short. You will always be somewhere around here when the terrorists will start to be here as well. Let's also mention some options for the T side. Even new players can throw this smoke towards the corner. It's pretty easy. From the middle to this corner, it lands where we need it. And flashbangs, of course. The first one is ideally thrown at 149. Follow it up with a grenade barrage from you and your teammates. Coordinate your efforts to not waste the valuable resources. The biggest task for the terrorists on long is to take the pit control. If the CT's retreated or the exchange happened quickly, occupy the pit and play from there. Our smoke will be very useful in this situation. Not going towards long? Maybe you're a lurker. In the previous video, we talked about the goals of the lurker, and I'll remind you, not to die and annoy the site players is the best thing you can do. This is a good situational smoke. It's thrown between these dots in the middle of the pillar. This grenade will allow you to come out and check all the positions. They can't see you, and even if the CT decides to stand there, you will be able to see him first. Don't forget to check the Mickey Mouse behind the door. A flash like this will help. Stand behind the car and aim at the spot. The enemies won't be able to dodge it. Let's try it out. Let's finish with this smoke that will let you instantly extinguish the Molotov thrown by the CTs. Just run and bounce it off the corner of this crate. Counter-terrorists throw it in an arc so your smoke will put it out. You can even throw it preemptively to not waste your time.